Coming up on How Do They Do It? How do they produce the world's strongest knives? We take you around the world to show you how on How Do They Do It? Japan has long been the spiritual home of the swordsmith, and since the time of the samurai they've been the undisputed masters of the steel blade. But here on the southwest island of Kyushu, a company is breaking with tradition and has started producing a revolutionary new type of super sharp blade. Made not from steel, but a kind of ceramic. So, how do they do it? Sushi chefs are modern masters at wielding a blade, and up until recently, these kitchens would have been filled with knives made from stainless steel. But now, there's a new kid on the chopping block. Not only is it harder than steel, it never rusts, doesn't stain, and is almost impossible to blunt, making it ideal for producing the wafer-thin slices of fish necessary for perfect sushi. To make these extraordinary knives, they use a new high-tech ceramic which is second only to diamond in terms of hardness. The trouble is, just like diamonds, to get this ceramic material, you must travel to the ends of the earth. Well, not quite the ends of the earth. Our journey has taken us to Western Australia, on the outskirts of Perth, where we find the Dardanup mine. It's 9 a.m. and geologist Dr. Lorraine Crockford is heading out for another day prospecting. She's not looking for gold or silver, but rather areas rich in ore.
It is a bit similar to gold prospecting. I'm looking for how much black stuff I can see in the pan.
It's this black sand which contains a rare colourless mineral called zircon. Zircon is the key ingredient needed to make ceramic knives. So once Lorraine has decided where they should mine, it's time for the heavy diggers to move in and start transferring the earth to an army of refining machines. First, a giant vibrating table shakes the largest pieces of rock to the surface. Next, this huge drum spins the material with water to sieve out any remaining pieces of stone. The remaining mineral-rich sand is then pumped to the so-called wet plant. It looks like something from an old sci-fi B-movie, but these strange giant corkscrews perform the same function as a prospector's pan, only on an industrial scale. As the mix spins through these spirals, lighter sands collect on the outside and are discarded, while heavier minerals stay in the middle and are collected. The result is a thick black sludge containing a mix of different minerals. These are separated using magnetic and electrostatic machines, a wet table, and finally one last shake. What comes out is almost 100% pure zircon, ready to be shipped around the world. The zircon goes to China, where it's further refined into zirconia, before it arrives here in the ancient Japanese city of Sendai. This plant belongs to Kyocera, the world's leading manufacturer of ceramic blades. They begin by moulding the zirconia powder into the right shape using a high-pressure press. Producing a force of almost 300 tons, the press compacts the powder into a knife-shaped blank. These blanks are extremely fragile and can be shattered by the slightest knock. So, like all ceramics, they must be hardened by firing. The temperature inside this kiln reaches 1400 degrees Celsius, and after 48 hours of fierce baking, the soft powder blanks are transformed into virtually unbreakable ceramic. The end result is an extremely hard blade, which is tougher even than the strongest steel equivalent. But you won't be tucking into your sushi with it just yet, because these knives are as blunt as a bar of soap. So, to add the all-important cutting edge, Kyocera have turned to the skills of traditional craftsmen. Meet the master. Here in a small workshop on the edge of the town, the master and his assistants work by hand to sharpen the knives. It's a job that requires a steady hand and intense concentration. Using a spinning wheel coated in diamond dust, they slowly grind away the hardened zirconia to create a razor-sharp edge.
My favourite thing about the job is being able to go home at night, knowing I've made the perfect knife. Even though I'm the master, there's a lifetime of learning ahead before I ever consider myself the true master.
Anyone squeamish should now look away. And if there are any children watching, please do not try this next bit at home. In true maniacal samurai style, the master tests the razor sharpness of the knives on himself. Ooh. Presumably he knows he's got the perfect knife when his thumb drops off. As the master and his team bandage their hands, the knives are returned to the factory, where a laser is used to etch the Kyocera trademark. The Japanese authorities realize that super-sharp ceramic knives pose a potential security threat, since terrorists would be able to sneak them past the metal detectors at airports. To prevent this, metal has been mixed with the ceramic, enough to set off an alarm. And 2 more checks, to see the blade is as tough as it should be, and to see if you can cut through a telephone directory, should the need arise. Which is all very well, but will the blade cut the mustard with a master sushi chef? Back at the restaurant, another batch of raw fish is nearing completion. In the hands of the sushi master, the ceramic knife deftly shaves the wafer-thin slices of fish. And what's more, thanks to its chemically inert blade, it doesn't absorb any odours from the various fish oils, keeping the taste pure. We just hope they don't find a fingernail in the teriyaki.